loved these sneakers. Most expensive pair of shoes I ever bought. I went to the Frisco running store and I let them do my feet. You know, they put your feet in this little machine and it shows you exactly where your arches are, your ankle, how your ankle's supposed to fit, and everything in your shoe, in your foot. And then they find a shoe to fit exactly what you need. Never spent over $100 for sneakers before. These were like $130. And I said, these are expensive. Kelvin said, this is what Kelvin said. So Kelvin said, you only get one pair of feet, babe. So I said, to the cash register we go. But these shoes were good. During COVID, I walked. Me and my neighbor walked every morning at 7 o'clock, 7:30. We would get up and walk 3, 4. I think the most miles we walked one day was 6 miles. So during COVID, these were good sneakers. But that was in 2020. I wore these sneakers when I worked at Flat Rock Smokehouse Barbecue. And when I was working at Flat Rock, these were the sneakers I wore, because I was able to go in the dining room and I could go in the back in the kitchen while I was working. But I tried these shoes on back in May when I was substitute teaching and we were doing testing. I tried those shoes on. Those shoes hurt my feet. And I'm thinking, I know these shoes ain't hurting. These shoes was $130-something. I know they're not hurting. But those shoes were good for that season. That's what those shoes were for. Those shoes were good for that season. My foot has changed since 2020. God has expanded me since 2020. God has expanded all of us since 2020. It's 2026 and it's almost 2027. And we have to realize that the soul is worn down. The cushioning has compressed. The support has weakened. This material, I even washed the shoestrings because I knew these were gonna fit. The material has lost its structure. And eventually, you grow out of the shoes. This is a good shoe. This is a good shoe. But God is taking me to some new terrain. We're going somewhere different.